That brings us to Shedeur Sanders. Shedeur, he did not get any of those precious starting reps that we thought, well, maybe he'll get a few chances to throw to Jeudy or David Njoku or Said Tillman. He didn't get those today. I don't think he's going to get those in Philly. I think those reps are going to go.
Shedeur got a great arm, very accurate. He threw 2 great accurate balls, and the last one was he went through all his progression. It was the last read, and for him as a young quarterback, be able to make those reads, make that progression, kudos to him, Like I said, he's a great quarterback, and I'm excited for his future.
And that's something that if you don't know football and know the game, you won't understand how great a lot of those plays was that Shedeur Sanders.
Jerry Jeudy just took the mic and basically said, enough with the rumors, let's get real. And who better to drop the truth bomb than with Browns insider Mary Kay? We're talking about Shedeur Sanders, the rookie everyone's buzzing about like he's the NFL's next Marvel superhero. Forget the polite press conferences. Jerry came in swinging with facts, shade, and just enough swagger to make you wonder if Cleveland's locker room just turned into an episode of reality TV.
Can you talk about what did you think of Shedeur's performance the other night, and how have you seen him come along right out of this?
No, Shedeur, he did a great job the other night, setting completion, moving the ball down the field, scoring touchdowns, that's all you can ask for a quarterback. He constantly growing each and every day, learning the offense, learning the scheme, and I'm excited for him. He got a bright.
Jerry Jeudy didn't just sit down with Browns insider Mary Kay to talk football. No, he came in like a man on a mission, looking ready to drop so much truth that even the stadium scoreboard might have started taking notes. If you've been anywhere near the NFL gossip circuit lately, you know Shedeur Sanders has been the headline hog. Rookies get hype all the time, but the way people have been talking, you'd think he showed up in Cleveland riding a golden chariot pulled by bald eagles while holding the Lombardi trophy in one hand and an iced-out playbook in the other.
Like Jerry Jeudy just said, going through his progressions, coming to the last progression for that touchdown. People, may not necessarily know that as a quarterback, it's a lot of different reads. It's a lot of different things you're seeing. You might be trying to go to this receiver. That's what the play is calling for. But if this receiver is checked off, you're trying to go to the second receiver, but he's not open. You're trying to get to the third. You're like, okay, man, I might have.
Jeudy wasn't having it, and not in a bitter way either. More in the tone of a veteran who has seen the hype cycle spin faster than an NFL Twitter meltdown after a missed field goal. He wanted to make sure the story wasn't just sound bites from preseason highlight clips. Because let's be real, one good preseason performance in Cleveland and half the fan base is already engraving the kid's name into the Ring of Honor. The other half is designing him a statue outside the stadium.
Some of these media people or whoever is not really praising Shedeur Sanders for what he did in the preseason game. I mean, they just haters and they just don't rock with him at all, because it was brilliant how he was able to, in a sense, pick apart the Carolina Panthers defense. Yes, you can have a play and it can be something that you have to do when this comes, but a lot of
This all started after Shedeur walked into his first preseason game and put on a show so polished, you'd think he was auditioning for a Netflix football docuseries. The Browns smacked the Panthers around, and Shedeur looked like he was operating with the cheat codes turned on. You could feel the electricity in the city. Ticket sales jumped, merch flew off shelves, and suddenly there were reports that half of Ohio had put in custom orders for Shedeur Sanders jerseys before the final whistle even blew.
Are we going to spend the entire year picking apart Shedeur Sanders, or are we going to finally admit that he belongs in the league? I'm going to keep these receipts because I feel like we're witnessing history. They said he was the worst formal interview. They said he's entitled, not talented. They even said he was a developmental quarterback. Then last night's first preseason game,
But the hype wasn't just external. Inside the locker room, guys were talking. And let's be honest, in an NFL locker room, talking can mean anything from genuine praise to good old-fashioned rookie better not get too comfy. Jerry Jeudy, the new man in Cleveland, found himself smack in the middle of it. Fans were wondering, is Jeudy threatened? Is he hyped? Is he secretly plotting a touchdown dance competition to assert dominance?
And what Shedeur Sanders did last night, at the very least, was put Dillon Gabriel in a situation where he's going to have to match what Shedeur did last night in one of these next 2 preseason games. But here's the thing, we got to slow down. As soon as the game was over last night, people are saying that he's got to be the QB1 going into the season, this, that, and the third. It was one preseason game against the Carolina Panthers. That was the bare minimum of what he needed to do to keep this as a...
Here's the thing about Jerry. He's been around long enough to know that NFL narratives can twist faster than a cornerback's ankle on a bad turf field. And when Mary Kay got him talking, he didn't come to toss out vague cliches about the rookie being a good kid or working hard. No, Jerry came to take control of the story like a quarterback calling an audible on 4th and inches. First off, he made it clear there's no beef. In fact, he leaned into it. Shedeur's confidence isn't cocky, it's contagious. You've got to understand, in a sport where your career can hinge on a single drop pass or blown coverage, having a quarterback who plays like he's been in the league for years is a breath of fresh air. Jeudy wasn't sugarcoating anything. Shedeur's arm talent is real, his pocket presence is legit, and the kid seems to have skipped the NFL learning curve like it was an optional minicamp drill. Now, if you know Brown's history, you know the quarterback position has been cursed since before HD television existed. So yeah, when Shedeur came out looking like he could actually break the curse, the city lost its mind.
Have a tendency to look good. But then you've got two rookies who have also played a lot of ball. I mean, you've got Dillon Gabriel, who is very smooth and efficient. And I thought he was that way with the pre-snap stuff, even in rookie camp. He just had an unbelievable command of that kind of stuff. So I think that's going to be important. And we're going to have to see, can Shedeur handle all of that stuff while learning a whole new scheme? These other guys have all had to pick up new terminology and new schemes very, very quickly.
But first of all, what stuff is she talking about that we got to see if he's capable?
But Jeudy's point was simple. Hype is great, but chemistry wins games. He talked about how much time they've been spending off the field, running routes after practice, breaking down film together, and even just hanging out so they get each other's rhythm. Because in the NFL, a quarterback-wide receiver connection isn't built just by running slants and go routes. It's built by understanding each other's instincts, knowing if your QB is the kind of guy who'll throw you open in tight coverage or wait for you to shake the defender before pulling the trigger. And yes, Jeudy made it clear, Shedeur is the kind of guy who'll pull the trigger. This man's confidence in the pocket is so high, you'd think the pass rushers were coming at him with foam pool noodles instead of full-speed tackles. This was a veteran wide receiver looking at a potential star quarterback and thinking, yeah, this could work.
Another one. So it looks like Cleveland Browns all-pro and top 100 wide receiver Jerry Jeudy just set the record straight with Cleveland Browns report.
That's the thing. Jeudy knows what it's like to play with quarterbacks who can't quite put it together. He's seen drives stall because of poor timing, games lost because of bad decisions, and seasons derailed before the leaves even start to change color. When you've been through that, you learn to appreciate a QB who can put the ball exactly where it needs to be, when it needs to be there. And apparently, Shedeur's already delivering those throws in practice and preseason like it's no big deal. Now, you know how Browns fans are. Give them a glimmer of hope, and they'll start talking playoffs faster than a Vegas sportsbook adjusts the odds. Social media is flooded with bold predictions about Shedeur's rookie season. Some fans are saying 10 wins minimum. Others are already setting aside cash for Super Bowl tickets like they're making a down payment on a house. The memes are relentless. The optimism is blinding. And for once, the energy doesn't feel misplaced. Of course, Jeudy kept it grounded. He reminded everyone that the NFL season is a grind. Defenses will adjust. The pressure will ramp up. Every team will now have tape on Shedeur, and defensive coordinators are already losing sleep trying to figure out how to rattle him. That's where the chemistry between him and Jeudy will matter most, because when the play breaks down and the pocket collapses, it's going to come down to trust. And trust isn't built on headlines. It's built on reps, communication, and a mutual understanding that neither guy is going to hang the other out to dry.
When you look at other insiders, the people who was there for the minicamp, for the rookie minicamp, who had eyes on every single play, every single snap that Dillon Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders was doing, right? When they was out there telling us that sometimes Dillon Gabriel looked good, but there was other times where Shedeur Sanders looked better than.
Still, the vibe coming out of Cleveland is different. This isn't the cautious optimism fans have been conditioned to feel over the years. This is loud, unapologetic, put the league on notice optimism. And Jeudy, far from downplaying it, seems to be leaning in. He's embracing the spotlight, ready to make plays that turn Shedeur's highlight reel into must-see TV every single week. Some fans have even started calling them the Dog Pound Duo, a nickname that sounds like it should come with its own cartoon series on Sunday mornings. And if preseason was just a teaser, the full season could be the NFL's next big storyline. See, Jeudy's conversation with Mary Kay wasn't just about shutting down rumors, it was about setting the tone. The Browns aren't just here to be entertaining in September and irrelevant by Thanksgiving. They've got talent. They're walking around with their heads high, throwing out wild predictions like they've just been handed a crystal ball from the football gods. And Jeudy is right there fanning the flames.
Hold up. Don't get excited. Shedeur Sanders had a solid performance yesterday. All right? No doubt about it. Okay? Solid performance.
See, Jeudy isn't new to high expectations. In Denver, he had his share of big stage moments, but let's be honest, the Broncos quarterback carousel was spinning so fast some seasons it felt like musical chairs with shoulder pads. One week, it's a deep ball gunslinger. The next week, it's a check down machine. That inconsistency can make even the best wideouts feel like they're running routes in quicksand. Now he's looking at Shedeur, a guy who, in his first real NFL action, treated the Panthers' defense like it was a backyard scrimmage. Jeudy knows what that means. A wide receiver's dream scenario. No more waiting for the perfect pass that never comes. No more adjusting mid-route because your quarterback just discovered gravity applies to footballs. This is a guy who can hit you in stride so cleanly, you start planning your touchdown dance 3 steps before the end zone. And here's the part Browns fans love. Shedeur's got swagger, but it's functional swagger. This isn't empty chest thumping after a 5-yard gain. This is the type of confidence that spreads to the whole offense. You can see it in the offensive line. Guys blocking like they just found out their paychecks depend on it. Running backs hitting holes with more purpose. Tight ends catching everything thrown their way. It's contagious. Jerry, in that conversation with Mary Kay, basically confirmed what everyone's been thinking. The locker room is buying in. You don't always get that with rookies. Sometimes a young QB walks in and the veterans give him that polite smile that says, "You've got potential, kid, but don't get in the way." This time, it's different. The vibe is more, "You got the wheel? Cool. Just keep it pointed toward the end zone."
Hey man, it finally happened. Shedeur got on the field. You watching the game, Chad, there's a lot of Shedeur Sanders fans. What did you think of his first outing?
Listen, all the talk and the narratives and the storylines and whatever you want to say, sooner or later that ball's about to snap. And that young man we watched at Colorado, who's one of the best football players in the nation, is now looking like one of the best football players in the nation at another level. That's what it was. I knew the collusion and all the stuff, like I said, you want to go through. You saw what Shedeur Sanders was capable of. We all knew what Shedeur Sanders was capable of.
And let's not pretend the NFL isn't noticing. The media circus around Shedeur has been spinning at warp speed. You've got analysts trying to one-up each other with hot takes, one saying he's the next Mahomes, another saying it's too soon to tell, and another just shouting into the camera like they're auditioning for a daytime soap. Meanwhile, defensive coordinators across the league are probably watching tape, sipping coffee, and muttering, "How the hell do we stop this kid?" But Jeudy's smart enough to know that hype can cut both ways. There's also the little matter of AFC North defenses. This isn't some soft schedule where you can just glide through. You've got the Steelers with their never-ending supply of pass rushers, the Ravens with corners who'd rather commit a crime than give up a big play, and the Bengals who'll happily play spoiler just for fun. This division will test every inch of that rookie confidence. And when the heat comes, Jeudy's going to be right there, either catching darts downfield or making contested grabs that get replayed all week on ESPN.
Sure.
The average time that Shedeur Sanders had to throw the other night was 3.48 seconds. And the reality is that in the National Football League, you know this better than me, Shefty, obviously you do too, D.O., you ain't gonna get that much time to throw. So I'm saying, again, the one story is that he's earned the right for further looks with the first, second unit as opposed to the third unit. You are right about that.
Of course, no story in Cleveland is complete without the fan factor. Browns fans aren't casual. They're invested like it's a second marriage. And this new QBWR connection has them acting like they've already RSVP'd for the parade. Tailgate culture is already morphing. People are showing up with custom Jeudy to Shedeur banners. Local breweries are naming beers after them. And somewhere, I guarantee you, a tattoo artist is inking a design that says, "In Shedeur we trust," across someone's bicep. And you know what? Jeudy's leaning into it. He's not hiding from the spotlight. He's not throwing side-eye at a rookie getting more media coverage than him. He's treating this like a business partnership. Shedeur's the CEO, Jeudy's the VP of explosive plays, and together they're aiming to turn Cleveland from a maybe next year franchise into a why not this year nightmare for the rest of the league. And let's not forget, this is Cleveland. These fans have seen stars come and go, have been promised change more times than a broken vending machine, and have learned to spot false hope from a mile away. but for once, it feels like the optimism is rooted in something real.
Y'all see Shedeur first game?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was at the bar watching it. A lot of upset, you know what I'm saying?
Bro.
People around there. A lot of people did not want to see him, you know what I'm saying, be successful. If he'd have fucked up, y'all have been talking crazy about Shedeur. Show some respect.
I questioned how he went about things in interviews.
Yeah.
But after watching how much people hating how bad they want to see him fall, I'm all the way on the other side now.
Yeah,
I
bro.
want to see him win everything. I thought he was gonna get picked in the first round and all that stuff. So
I'm rocking with Shedeur all the way, but I think
Jeudy made sure to point out the leadership angle too. Shedeur's not just out there slinging passes, he's taking control of the huddle, running film sessions like a seasoned vet, and actually listening when teammates give feedback. That last part might sound small, but in the NFL, a quarterback who can set his ego aside for the sake of winning is rarer than a penalty-free Browns drive. The funniest part of all this, other teams' fan bases are already jealous. You can see it online. Raiders fans grumbling about media bias, Jets fans trying to claim their QB has similar upside, and Patriots fans, well, still trying to figure out who's even throwing the ball for them. Meanwhile, Cleveland's just over here grinning like they found a cheat code nobody else knows about. If you zoom out, you realize this whole Jeudy, Shedeur Sanders dynamic could be a long-term thing. We're talking multiple seasons of potential dominance. This season is going to test them. There will be ugly games, there will be dropped passes, missed reads, and maybe even the occasional interception that has the city's sports radio stations melting down before sunrise. The question is how they respond.
He's an itty-bitty spider. No. Shedeur Sanders is a ball player, fellas, and I love that he went out there. You can say what you want about that man. Sooner or later, that ball's about to snap in the middle of that field between that 100 and that 53, and we're going to see what football's about.
If Jeudy's words are any indication, they're ready. And not just in a we'll get him next time kind of way, more like a we're here to make noise every single week until someone stops us way. That's dangerous. Because in the NFL, confidence backed by talent is basically football's version of a loaded weapon. For now, the vibe in Cleveland is electric. Training camp has turned into a full-blown hype fest. Preseason games are selling out like playoff matchups. And Shedeur's jersey sales? Let's just say somewhere an NFL marketing executive is currently building a summer home off the profits. If you're a Browns fan, buckle up. If you're a rival fan, start preparing your excuses. And if you're an NFL fan in general, get ready. Because this ride is just getting started and it's already looking like primetime TV.